All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Weekly Tangent. I'm your host Greg, along with co-host Brooks. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good. It's a big week. Actually, a bigger week than it has been. We always say it's a big week because there's always something watching, but it's a big week this week because of we're coming on the heels, off of the heels of Division 2.
Which we've been having a good time with.
Which, yeah, I mean, I think everybody is unanimously kind of called out that Division 2 is not as bad as Anthem.
Sure.
It's flat out, like everybody's in agreement. It's at least a good game. Well, a good game. Both were good games. This one has less issues and is coming off of something that everybody was already familiar with. That's how I kind of see Division 2.
Yeah, I think universally what I've kind of heard people say is they delivered on more promises than not.
Right.
And I think that's kind of one of the big things with these type of games where they're revealed, they're shown off, and everybody spins up in the head how they're going to work or what it's going to have or what it's going to do or this or that type of thing. Sure. And this is really just has more things to do than not, which I also think is helpful because that's, Anthem people hit that wall, ran out of things to do, and then it was like pitchforks.
Yeah, I hope that there's not that at the end of Division 2, but I'm not rushing through it.
Yeah, neither am I.
Right, we were talking about this just a few minutes ago. Like, there are points where you just have players and people will have their way of playing every game, and it's not a smack on them for speeding through the content and wanting to get to like 30 all the way and then like start hitting the in-game stuff and get through that. It's not any kind of slight on them. It's just that's not how I want to play these games really anymore. I'd rather like space it out.
I'm not even at level 20 yet, so I mean
I'm not anywhere near that either. I'm just kind of like running around as like a level 10, like sneaking my way through zones to unlock safe houses, right? And filming it, right? I played a little bit differently too because I'm filming kind of the playthrough itself.
Well, you've been kind of trying solo as well.
Yeah, and I've been playing it solo, except jump in and we'll play on the weekends or something like that. But yeah, I mean, pretty much in the evenings it's tough to like spend a lot of time like let's get everybody together, let's go after this, kind of thing.
Right.
And let's go jump into the next person's game and do the exact same thing over. I think it's up until the point where there's some points, but like up until the point where everybody's kind of at level 30 and getting like the gear they need, it can be a single player game.
Oh yeah.
There was my friend and I, Sarah. We played through Destiny, the original Destiny, and mostly we all played like single player, and then everybody was like, "What the hell's going on? Where's the rest of the game?" That was it.
Right.
And then you're like, "No, come over here, and let's all play this way."
Right.
So.
And then there's that chase or whatever you want to call it at the end. So.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a little bit different, I think, in these games. And the way I'm playing, the Destinies of the world and the Divisions of the world and that now it's a game that I'm going to play around other games that I want to play.
Right.
Because the other game we want to play kicks off for you tonight because you got it on PS4 at 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
And that's Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. Shadows Die Twice. I got it on Steam, so mine doesn't work until like 9 a.m. tomorrow or something to that effect. And we may be, we were talking about, we might be playing Sekiro tomorrow live here.
I think so, yeah.
We're going to play an hour or two of the game and just do some streaming on that. But for us, personally, you're going to be on at 9 tonight, right when you get home. I'm going to be probably doing some Division, but yeah, that's the kind of game that I'm talking about. Is like hit that game when you're playing it, like so you can enjoy it, and unfortunately, you kind of have to stay off the internet if you don't want to see like all the all the boss battles and all the story and everything like that. So it's kind of like best to play those as you can.
Yeah, I read a little bit, just kind of high level when they did their Game Informer month here a month or two ago. That was just sort of talking more conceptually about why there's only single player in the game, or why they did this, or how they chose the setting. But I've stayed absolutely blind on this one, so know that there's a grappling hook, and you get a sword.
Yeah, I didn't want to know much more than that.
That's what I know about the game right now.
I was along that line. I wanted to make sure that I was surprised what was going on, that I didn't see the monsters or the bosses or whatever you're fighting at the as you go through.
Right.
And tried to stay spoiler free as much as possible. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm not going to talk to you about it because you'll be playing early and probably get through it. I'll be playing it as I go this weekend.
I've been looking forward to a lot of games this year, and I had gone through, and I was maybe a little on the aggressive side of we played Metro, and we played DMC, and we played Resident Evil.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This was kind of the one that I was sitting here, and this was probably I would say the first game this year that I was like, I had the date circle on the calendar. Not that
you were ready for it,
but I was especially ready for I kind of knew what we were getting with DMC, and I relatively knew what we were getting with Resident Evil. This one, I'm kind of I expect some similarities to the old games,
right?
But I also expect some new things, right?
Sorry, I'm just adjusting something here. Yeah, no, I agree.
So it'll, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then there's Division. I'll be playing Division tonight because mine doesn't unlock, like I said. But tomorrow, definitely be all about playing some Sekiro, and then looking forward to, the next one that's going to be like that is going to be Days Gone. Right now, that's a PS exclusive, a PS4 exclusive. So. Which is kind of cool. I don't mind them doing that because obviously they put their money behind it. I think the game is going to be my feelings about it, not reading anything, but kind of looking at the game, the mechanic and all that stuff. I kind of feel that the game is going to be very similar to, what is it? It's State of Decay.
Okay, sure.
I think that's a very similar type of game.
Yeah, I would say I'm expecting...
Which is a good game, by the way. Yeah. I really enjoyed State of Decay 2.
I'm expecting, in my mind, this is going to be Last of Us in the open world with survival mechanics. That's what I have up here, which I don't think is too far away from State of Decay.
Yeah, no, it's the same idea. There's a zombie apocalypse and all sorts of troubles happen, and you've got to gather survivors together. Now, they may not be that component. I don't know. I know that there's a lot to do with the motorcycle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Being able to get around, and that's kind of State of Decay. You go find these cars and stuff like that.
It's Sony exclusive, so it'll be very narrative heavy at some point.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that game being a bigger release for them this year. An exclusive release.
It's also been sort of pushed back a bunch of times now that it was going to release in January, then it got pushed. Then it was going to release in February, and they were like, oops, Anthem. And then it was going to release in March, and they were like, oops, Division. And
Capcom's gotten the smartest out of everybody. They only release and do in January. Right. So, I think that you're right. I mean, I think it was a good call on their end.
Yeah,
to be able to be willing to give it a chance for success.
Yeah.
Right? They could have threw it right around the launch of Sekiro or Anthem and just been completely mauled over, and nobody would have put the effort in to go see it until later.
And then the day before it comes out, Sony's doing that event at Tribeca with Kojima talking about game. So that's a curious.
Yeah, tell us that. I mean, you saw that. I mean, they've been doing that for a little bit. Right?
Yeah. So it was announced that while we're on the subject of Sony, that there's some sort of Death Stranding event on April 25th at the Tribeca Film Festival with him and Norman Reedus, and we kind of looked at it, and it looks like kind of each year for the past few years they've shown kind of some game off at the Tribeca Film Festival, but then you're like, is this a game? Is this a movie?
Yeah, I mean...
Is it a dude making a game that wants to make a movie?
I think that's more like what it is. I think, definitely Kojima has been all over, wanting to be a film producer or director for his entire career. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think that, potentially, why not, right? Why not kind of like mesh the two and have Roger, who was it, Ebert, rolling in his grave because he never felt games was an art form.
Right, yeah. I thought that was a very choice timing of dates to have an event the day before your next exclusive drops.
No, I think that it's interesting and yeah. I mean, how many times have we thought there was the whole thing like Death Stranding's launching in December right on Christmas Eve. Then it was last summer that was launching at like a secret deployment, that Sony's not wanting to announce, and then this year it'll be the same thing, and probably around Christmas, if it hasn't launched, it'll be like it's launching Christmas Eve, and then we'll be back into 2020. So, yeah, I mean, it's whenever it launches, I'll look forward to that because, I'm sure it'll be awesome. I think, let's go ahead and start looking at some of the awesome games that we have, though.
What are we looking at first today?
A game that's a little bit of stealth. I don't know how much stealth there would be in Death Stranding in comparison to Metal Gear, but let's talk about like the real stealth is real life, and we're Ghost of a Tale.
Okay, and by real life, you mean a mouse.
We're a mouse, and the mouse has got a little bit of. He's been thrown in the Hooskow. Okay, and he's now got to figure out what's going on.
Right.
It's almost like the beginning of Dark Souls. It is almost like the beginning of Dark Souls, where the mouse is in Dark Souls, you're in the dungeon, and the dude throws a key on you, and at that point you go out the door. Here the mouse has got like a little bit of somebody snuck some bread in, he's got a key underneath the bread, he can unlock it, he can get out, and then he's got to figure it out. And it's all about stealth, because the mouse does not have an attack as far as I've seen so far. Okay. I don't believe he can attack at all. He can hide. He can cause a diversion with like throwing something, or get the attention of a guard or something like that by a noise. He can sneak around guards. He can hide in like little bins of rice or grains, or in boxes. But his job is like he's making his way through, but he's got to do it quietly. So it's stealthing the whole way through.
It might have been a while. You know what this also reminded me of? This reminded me of the first 15 minutes of The Order, 1886.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. He's, I don't know in this exactly, but you start to break down, the story starts to unfold as the mouse is kind of rolling through, right? He meets this pirate frog that we'll probably see here in a few minutes, and that pirate frog, he doesn't want to help the mouse at all, wants nothing to do with it, but he gives them little pieces of information, and there's dialogue branching that you can do from that point, and you can kind of figure things out as you go. Or potentially you could just, right here's the frog, he's a pirate frog, he's got one good leg, you do some bantering back and forth, he doesn't like your kind, so he doesn't want to deal with you, but you go and help him out, and he helps you out with some information, and that's basically how it starts. I did not get the ferret balls thing. That's what he called the mouse, or yelled out, and then it scrolls vertically to read it.
Sure, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know what that is. I didn't know if that was an issue or if that was the way the game was designed. I kind of thought, but I saw the same thing later on, so it might be
I think that's more stylized in the way the frog's supposed to talk or whatever.
Yeah, but then your dialogue with him, he's giving you a little bit of information. Then he gives you a mission without really kind of yelling at you to go do this mission, and here's the pointer,
right?
Kind of thing. It's very not vague, but it's not like hand holding you the whole way through. And I'm sure the dev, the way they designed it would be like, hey, we're going to tell you kind of the direction, but we want you to figure out how to do it.
It's a really impressive game considering the team size of this. Yeah. This is I think 3 or 4 people made this game.
Yeah, no, and I mean the game looks amazing. It's running here. Obviously, the screen is only 720p, but it's only 720p, but I recorded it in 4K. So if you actually go to the game page, and I'll link that in the chats right now.
We looked at it on 4K, but
it's in 4K and it's really sharp. It is really sharp. So let me link that right now. We've got both the WildTangent version, which we'll call WildTangent version. It's basically our DRM.
You can try it for free.
And you can try it for free. Essentially, it gives you 30 minutes of playing the game. You can play the full game. If you could get through it in 30 minutes, it would be there. But it's 30 minutes.
Right.
It has nothing to do with like it stops you at some level. But we also have the Steam version, so I'll put that in as well. So if you want your games on Steam, you can do that. And we've got that version as well. So both of these are going into the chats. And if you have questions on them or want to have any kind of additional information, you can find it there, or just ping us. We're happily ready to answer questions here in chat. So both of those go in on Twitch and for YouTube. But here, this is kind of the mouse's thing. He finds areas that he can either hide into or clear out, and then he can hide.
Right.
And then at that point, you can let anybody kind of roll past you and then jump out, be able to get around them. And there's some of that diversion stuff where he grabs a stick and he can toss it, or he can drop, something onto the guard or by the guard to, cause them to stumble, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think at some point here you start earning some abilities or some things that you can upgrade.
You do, yes. Yeah. It's not all stealth, no combat the whole game, right? Exactly. Yeah.
You come up with ways to be more nimble and ways to how would you put this? Escape situations that normally a mouse could not. I'm not. Gosh,
you get abilities,
right?
And in this, you can see the mouse can stand on items. He can move items, stand on items. There's places that you'll have to figure out, like, I need to reach this cupboard, right, or something like that, and you got to go find what he can stand on, bring it back, and you got to decide which way is going to be faster or which way is going to be safer, kind of thing. So there's some decision making in that. There's stealing keys. Obviously he's got a rat there, a guard that he's got to get the key off of to then be able to open up the door, which it says screaming door. It does not scream. I was kind of worried there when I was going to open it. But, those are the kind of things you've got to figure out. And it's not like a yellow arrow standing over top the guard going, he's got the key.
Right.
Come get the key from him.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we talk about quite a bit. And how much hand-holding do you want in your game?
Right. Yeah, there's got to be a little bit of a challenge. And this is not massive challenge. I don't know how long the game is. I want to say it's probably 5 to 6 hours.
Okay.
But I could be wrong on that. Let's take a look here real quick while we watch a little bit more of the footage. I can always look it up. It's but again, the game looks amazing. I think most people should give it a try. Like, definitely jump over to WildTangent and just try it.
What do you classify this game as most? Do you classify this as adventure?
Stealth adventure.
Stealth adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably throw it in there with, like, I mean, you're not taking anybody out necessarily by choking them,
right?
But I would probably throw it in against, like, Splinter Cell.
Okay.
Splinter Cell is like an action adventure stealth.
I'm trying to
Metal Gear's kind of.
I'm trying to figure out sort of how I classify it.
Yeah, it's not It's not definitely like the mouse gets an M16 down the road and starts taking out rats and as they're coming out of as they're funneled through a doorway and starts taking them out. There's nothing like that, but it's definitely like a puzzle in some way as well, like how to get like from point A to point B.
Yeah.
I guess all stealth games are kind of a puzzle mechanic in that sense of like you've got to draw the rat away so you can get through to the next spot, and then you can go around the rat, and then you can go do this piece. They're all in some way a little bit of a puzzle. So this game is actually also on PS4, Xbox.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's across the board in most cases, so which is awesome. So you can find these games. Well, they're saying about 10 hours is how long the game is.
Okay.
If you play through it. Now we're back at the frog, and we're telling the frog, like, hey, here's the thing. Actually, we might have looped already. But anyhow, great game. Let's, and it's got good control. But for a game that doesn't have good control, on purpose, let's jump over and take a look at Manual Samuel.
I thought this game was hilarious.
This is from, I believe, Curve Digital.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Curve Digital does this game. Manual Samuel is a physics-based adventure
game
thing. It's kind of funny. It's got your character is Samuel. He's wealthy. He's rich.
Mm-hmm.
He's got everything given to him in life, and nobody kind of respects that.
Sure.
So unfortunately, Samuel has a bad beginning to the day. Well, to the mid part of the day, I don't know. He works for his dad, but he doesn't really work. So he's probably kind of hanging out with his girlfriend here at lunch, forgetting her birthday, and forgetting her birthday the year before, and the year before that. And he's going to have a bad day.
She's not happy.
And then his adventure starts. And it's got some really funny stuff. You know, especially like trying to move, because you've played it. And it's not just, you played it on keyboard and mouse. I played it on control.
I intentionally tried it on keyboard just to see how different it was.
And the control, it's manual for a reason. You have to move each leg individually.
Not even just each leg individually.
Yeah. Like here, you're having to press like the right on the controller, right trigger, left trigger, in order, and you're trying to do it so that he can, move as fast as possible. But you also have to, down the road, learn how to breathe.
You blink, you inhale and exhale. It's not just breathing, it's inhaling and exhaling.
It's picking things up. It's keeping your spine alive.
It's picking things up and keeping them held.
Yes.
Right.
While you're doing 10 other things, too, at the same time.
While your back is straight, so you're holding that button. You're blinking, so your eyes don't dry. You're breathing in and out, not just in, because you got to exhale. So at any one time, you're holding 5, 6, 7, 8 buttons.
All at once.
All at once.
Yep. And trying to make your way through. Now, as you can see, his day really started out bad. He died.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's made a deal with death.
Yep.
And death is a skater slash, I don't even know. Like, just
Death likes money.
Death likes money. He's a skater. And
he reminds me of the character from
there he is.
He's really ridiculous. What's the roguelike that Hamill plays the skeleton in?
Oh, you're talking. Oh, yeah. He's like Death from Let It Die.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he reminded me of. Where he's like,
I didn't think about that, but that's a good call.
He's a little bit of a smart aleck, right? He's got constant attitude.
Yeah, he's a character for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn up the volume just a hair for people so they can hear a little bit more of the dialogue from the character.
Of the game, got it.
Yeah, the game. But yeah, it's he does a deal with death, and death is like, well, you essentially can go back and be alive, but you have to do everything manually for one day since you've never had to do it.
You have to complete a challenge.
Yes.
And the challenge is someone that's never worked has to work at the highest level.
Yes.
This time he has to focus on his
and he has to do everything on his own. Which, I never thought like rich people had, automatically, like everybody breathes the same way. Pretty well.
I thought
99%. You'd never be 100 because there could be something physically wrong with somebody. But in this scenario, like he's making him do everything manually, and you can see it's a little bit difficult to walk. a lot of the time when I played,
Sam's
I kind of left him
heard of the
breathe
Norwegian
in, but didn't breathe out, and then like don't worry about breathing for a minute or two.
Sure.
Right, but you have to blink because if you don't blink, everything gets really like hard to see kind of thing.
Everything becomes very bright or
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
But then you got him like trying to get shoes on, trying to get pants on, trying to get a shirt on.
picks a pair of
Stairs become your new enemy
Right.
in the world,
Right.
because they're hard to deal with.
Sam
And
successfully
it makes me wonder because, you know, as we're playing through, I kind of thought the game was, it's intentionally meant to be a little challenging. It makes me wonder what brutal mode does.
Oh, I could
Because
only
the game's
imagine.
already incredibly manual and inherently everything's difficult,
Yeah,
right?
I could
So-
I could only imagine how much of a pain the brutal mode can be. Yeah, here he's trying to breathe a little bit.
And, you know, we had talked about it. We didn't play this way for this video we're showing here, but you can actually play this with 2 people.
Sam.
So I would love
Yes.
to hear from someone that's played this game with 2 people how that works.
Yeah, if you've ever played a 2-player, let us know. This one, we'll put the links in chat. This one also you can play for free for 30 minutes.
Yep.
And we have the Steam version, so I'll put both links in there if anybody's interested. You can check it out. You'd be able, on our version, you'd be able to try it with 2 players. We just didn't have time to do it ourselves, or we would have kind of given it a shot. But definitely let us know what you think. It's a fun game, I will say that. I enjoyed sitting there playing it when I was recording the footage. I was going to keep playing it, but then I was like, you know, I got to get back and do more work. So it was really fun. So I'm dropping these in here.
Fully
And then here's the
clothed,
Steam
Sam
version.
is ready for the day. P.S. He's not.
And there's the Steam version in both.
But yeah, it's looks good. It's a very interesting game. It's certainly unique, right? That it's not it's not normally the type of thing a game would ask you to do. Of like, it's one thing, you know, a lot of games these days are putting in some combination of you know, maintaining, eating, sleeping, right?
Yep.
This is a whole other level of like survival. This is like survival by the second.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
You're just getting through the
Sam
day.
walks
Don't fall.
down the stairs with
I thought I made it.
Don't fall.
I thought I made it. The worst one was when I fell at the
Sam
work.
was
Oh,
just
oh.
himself.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
No.
Apparently too used to hurry.
Hey, dude.
Curve Digital is known for
Automatic
their
gearbox
physics-based
into
games,
a
though.
manual
They do
one for the funds. That be ironic or
Humans
what?
Flat.
At
What
this
is
point,
it?
Humans Fall
Sam
Flat.
knows
Humans
that
Fall
death
Flat.
isn't
They do
real.
that one. They have a couple other ones, so
I guess I should teach
they
you how to drive a
they've done a
stick,
good job with
huh?
physics. So I'm sure that they like that mechanic.
Manual Samuel in the manual. We'll see-
Oh yeah,
we'll see
this
how
was
this
fun.
goes.
Yeah, the manual car, like the
Nobody has
manual
clutched
shifting, that was
anything
pretty
for
interesting.
years. Good
I know how
for
to drive a stick because that's how I grew up riding one. But this one, this is
Wow, you have the clutch.
a little bit more difficult with the controller. I didn't even attempt it with the
As
keyboard
you
and
let go
mouse.
of the clutch.
The keyboard and the mouse was fine.
Stop
Yeah.
moving
When
the
I was playing it with keyboard and mouse, it reminded me of the Quantic Dream game when you and I were playing through. You did control, and I tried to do it like I was like, I'm gonna play the whole game on phone.
Oh
When they
yeah, I
had that-
remember this.
that-
Yep. I
That was
remember.
kind of my motivation there. Is I wanted to see how different it was, having watched you play it on the control.
I like how that Death starts to call out the old ladies. He's like, "Why are all these so
Keep
old ladies?"
stopping.
He's like, left and right. And he's like, "Go left, go right," and you're driving towards the screen, so you don't see, like, you can't prepare.
Right.
He just calls out like, "Oh, lady, go right," and you have to hit the right shoulder button and like you turn really fast and then hit the left one. But yeah, it's done very well, and they've got some funny moments in it. Let's jump away from a little bit of this and go to another game that we talked about on the stream before. This is from MegaCat Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And MegaCat does some amazing like retro style games. They have we've done Logjammers.
Yeah, we played Logjammers on here.
Logjammers was one of our first streams that we did.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the developer, Andrew, was with us, I think, from MegaCat.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And we sat there and talked about it, gave away some copies of the game, and talked about it. It was a little bit before Christmas time.
Yep.
This is their other game, which is Coffee Crisis, which is a side-scrolling beat-em-up. So imagine Final Fight or River City Ransom or Double Dragon. That's kind of the design. And MegaCat does a lot of good stuff with retro-looking games. So they do a lot of like... This game probably would be more in the level of like a 16-bit style game, like Super Nintendo style or Sega Genesis. But it's actually really good in the sense of they've added in additional mechanics to it.
Okay.
So the further you get into the game, there's a little bit difference than just kind of like go from left to right and deal with it. They've got modifiers in here. They've got buffs. They've got boss fights. They've got totally different standalone stuff. They've got some YouTubers that are on the internet, like Metal Jesus Rocks, actually in the game, which is kind of funny. So,
didn't they also add a feature? Because I know.
Let's jump into the game. Sorry, we're sitting here talking about it because it's really fun. It's a really good game.
Didn't they also add a feature that was like Twitch specific or Twitch or Mixer specific, where
they do have some feature integration,
which I really liked that about their first game, Logjammer.
Yeah.
Where the people watching you could interact with what you're doing, whether it was flipping the board or dropping power-ups or
kicking off
challenges.
Like modifiers and stuff like that. Yeah. So in the game, this is what it is. You're a coffee barista. You can do 2-player as well, so it's co-op, couch co-op, or online co-op, either one. The link that I'm going to drop in is for the Steam, or is for our version of the game, so you can try it for 15 minutes for free as well. They do have a Steam version. We don't have that one, but obviously you can find it on Steam if you're looking for it. But here you can try it for free for 30 minutes. And this is one of the modifiers where it actually changes the look, so it makes it look like it's on a tube TV. If you noticed how it's rounded on the edges,
and it's got
that's one you pick up.
And it's got kind of the waves rolling down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So you get the scan lines in it, and it kind of gives you a little bit different look. So that's just one of the modifiers. It's not really like super impactful to the gameplay, but you will start to get other modifiers that do change the way the game plays and makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to see and target enemies.
Because so for anyone wondering, the plot of this game is the aliens have come down and they're coming to steal, what is it? Rock music, free internet, and coffee. I believe.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. I think is what it is. Free Wi-Fi, coffee.
Oh yeah.
And there's a very specific artist that they reference in the game. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. Chip something or other. You might see it in this part of it. If you don't want to try the game, if you're just interested in seeing more of it, you'll be able to look on the game page. We've got the gameplay footage up there from what we've taken this out of. Here's a mini game where you actually go through and you have to drink more coffee than your counterpart. So the girl is the co-op partner of somebody's playing. And you just basically have to sit there and tap on A, and whoever wins this gets a 1-up kind of thing. You got to get to 525 points to be able to get the 1-up. Here's a boss battle. This one is where like so I believe is this is taking place in Pittsburgh. That's where MegaCat's from.
We talked about this.
And this is the stadium, and they've got the gondolas that go up the mountain on there. So I believe this all takes place in Pittsburgh. So it kind of is the Pittsburgh city skyline in the back. You're fighting the boss. As you can see, they have a bar. It looks like a donut. It's chipped away. And then at the end of this, you just move on to the next stage.
Now you're going to have to jog my memory on this. Didn't Logjammers isn't...
This is another modifier where it goes into
very
scribbled arena or whatever.
Very cool, yeah. But didn't Logjamers have the same thing where there was like a ride in the same city or something like that?
Yeah, you know so I had asked them about that because Logjammer was a ride at Kennywood Park.
Yes, that's what
it was. Water ride.
That's what it was.
And Logjamers is a water-based game. Like, yeah, so I don't... they're big fans of their city, and I believe that that's just homage to, where they live. So there's also the little gremlin, if you remember from... Diablo. Golden Axe?
Sure.
Yeah, or Diablo, Golden Axe, Diablo. that you can go up and you beat him on the head and you get like whatever treasure he
Each
drops.
swing, he drops a little more treasure.
Exactly. So that's right there. They've got a lot. I mean, they actually do really take and put a lot of, you know, love into the game in terms of like what they've done for video games or what they've seen in video games over their life.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that Andrew kind of shared with us when we were talking to him, for anyone who missed the first show.
Yeah, and you can find it on our YouTube.
And he got into specifics about how they didn't just. This isn't just retro because it's popular.
Yeah.
A lot of the people there grew up playing retro, really liked playing retro, and Mega Cat does those special. They make physical copies as well.
Yeah,
right?
for Genesis and for Super Nintendo.
You can
still
actually
today.
get a copy of this game and plug it into an old school system.
Yep. Yeah, they still make the physical cartridges. They do it all on their own.
Yeah.
They'll run Kickstarters and things like that, but I mean, they take a lot of their profit and put into the next project, and they actually go out and make the box art, the manuals, the inserts and all that stuff, and then the physical cartridges with the stickers, and they do all the things you need to do to make a true, and I don't even call it homebrew because it's really not. It's like they are producing a physical product, just like anybody would have, like Squaresoft for. Back in the day, it would have been Squaresoft, but they made fun.
This isn't like they make the cartridge and you did special Nintendo or special Genesis. This is like the one from the 90s that you remember playing would work just fine.
Yeah. And they also bring most of the games over to the PC as well, which is kind of cool. So here are two YouTubers here. The right one on the side is Metal Jesus Rocks, and he is actually in the game as an evil villain, but then he does, they save him kind of thing, and then he helps fight the powers, the alien powers, which is kind of funny, So there's a huge retro gaming community on YouTube, and they are really into it. So he's a part of it. They're a part of the retro scene,
right?
And they kind of just did something with him. The other dude's name,
it's not the guy from the same show.
No. This is one of my what his name is right now. And it's no slight to anybody. It's just right now I'm just not thinking of it. But yeah. So here's Metal Jesus in his glory in 16-bit. Yeah. Exactly. So he's being mind controlled by the aliens. So yeah, that's Coffee Crisis. You can try it right now. Just grab the link in chat. You should be able to try it for free for 30 minutes. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Because another great game, if you don't like beat 'em ups, but you like Pong or some other type of more faster-paced gameplay, Logjammers is for you.
Yeah.
And it's on the site as well. You can download it and try it for free for 30 minutes and check it out as well.
Yeah, we had
very good games.
We had fun playing it.
Yeah.
The Twitch integration is very interesting.
Yeah, where you can go in and
I thought that was unique.
Impact the streamer, like you can turn on modifiers or add more enemies. There's a lot of different things.
We've looked at a few games that have done it.
Yeah, there's a few
in the past, and it's always something that I find very curious.
So let's jump off of retro and go a little bit further into the future, and we're talking about landing on Mars kind of future.
Yeah, I think we're talking about surviving Mars next. Yep. This is a game we recently got from Paradox Interactive.
Yep. Paradox brings some amazing games that they do for strategy, mainly strategy, RTS type games. They've got a plethora. If you've ever seen any of their games, they've got Europa, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 is their latest version of that. They've got Stellaris, which is a space RTS. They've got City Skylines. What else do they have? Boy, they just do Steel Battalion, or not Steel Battalion. That was on. That was
Capcom.
That was Capcom or Konami game. Was that Konami?
Capcom.
Was it Capcom? Yeah. Yes, it was Capcom. That's the one with the 48 button or 40 button controller. Not that. What is their other game that they have? Not Steel Battalion, but Steel Division.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. Thank you.
They do a ton of these. So if you really want to play a great strategy game, that's kind of the Paradox route.
I mean, everybody loves this game. This game's done
Yeah.
very well. And
Surviving Mars came out, it did really well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. And it's got, the idea of space colonization of Mars. So essentially you're in charge, you're landing the ship onto the planet, you've got robots that are helping build it before the humans arrive.
Right.
So it's not just you land on the planet, you've got to start the production, but then you've got to go back off the planet, and then you've got to bring humans back. And then the humans are expecting, like, there's going to be water, there's going to be some oxygen, there's going to be some stuff we need to keep life going. So the robots are kind of doing that. They're setting up, like, you have to produce it's really thought out, right? You have to produce your own concrete, you have to produce your own energy.
You're building and sustaining a domed community on Mars.
Yeah,
right?
so it starts there and goes and makes it super deep. So, like, here, I think this is the concrete extractor, is what they're doing with what I was doing with this one right here. So you set it up, the little robots begin to, like, grab all the pieces that you brought on the big spaceship, and you can see them, like, rushing across the landscape, and they're going to set up, like, the concrete extractor.
Right.
But they're going to be like, well, you got to power the concrete extractor. You actually have to have that. So you got to put a generator, then you got to run the lines, and they start to do all of that work as well. So once you've got that kind of set up, then you can go and send your rocket ship, because it's going to have a certain amount of time to be able to get back to Earth or wherever it was going to pick up the humans, and then it's going to be bringing them back with supplies, and you're going to be doing supply runs. It's got some really cool concepts to it.
How do the sponsorships work with with the different vehicles? Because I know that each sponsor has, like, either a unique vehicle or a unique vehicle type.
Yeah, I don't know if there's impacts to the actual, like, functionality of the vehicles, but I do know you can pick who you want to be the sponsor, because there's, like, the U.S.
Right.
There's like, let's say, like, Elon Musk type company, there's the Jeff Bezos type company, then there's, like, other countries, right? Like United Nations, or there's, like, Korea, or there's, like, Russia, and and they all have some different look to them as far as I know, but I don't know if there's huge adjustments.
I was under the impression that each of them.
I only played I would guess it was like Jeff Bezos' type company.
Okay, I was under the impression that each of them had something unique within each.
They could. And so you can see here we're having to build the power capacity, or to bring up the power, and then you have to run the lines, and then depending upon how much you're pulling from the generator, you might have to increase the capacity, so you have to throw in another generator, and so forth. It's great. It's a great design for. It's a great setting for a strategy game, because it allows you to build it the way you would imagine. It's never been done before. It's not like you're having to build a castle. It's not like you're having to build armies. It's like you're building and sustaining life on another planet. So let me drop that. We only have the Steam keys for this one. So this one you would not be able to try it for free, but we will have the full video of the playthrough that we're doing here up on the site, so you can get a chance to see it. So I'm going to grab that. And this is the one that we have is the deluxe edition, so it actually comes with the bonus DLC and that stuff. Now there are other DLC packs. Paradox really loads games up. They don't put a game out and then not and pretend they never made it. Right? Or not come back to support it. They actually put games out, and then they put like 30 DLC expansions and different things for it. Which, not every game is like that. I think for Surviving Mars there's Space Race, and there's another one.
I know there's at least 2.
And then that's it. But like for Europa Universalis 4, there's like
7
30.
or 8. Yeah,
so. There's a lot. We only have a portion of what's available for it. It's pretty crazy. They have a lot. So I'm going to throw those links in the chat, and then we can jump over to the last game we're going to talk about today. And then before we play our game of the day, which is Woodpunk. So let's jump over to ukulele.
This is interesting.
This is an interesting game.
Yeah.
This looks just like a. This looks like a game from Rare back in the late 90s.
You had an N64.
You had N64, you would have played a lot of these.
Yeah, so this is
Banjo-Kazooie, BanjoTooie, DK64, Donkey Kong 64.
Yep.
Banjo, or what was it? Banjo and Kazooie.
Well, they did.
One on the Xbox.
They did Banjo-Kazooie. They did BanjoTooie. Then they did Banjo Nuts and Bolts.
Nuts and Bolts. That's it.
They did DK64. They did GoldenEye. They did Perfect Dark.
Yep.
So this was kind of
Viva Pinata.
Platonic. Platonic was functionally formed out of a lot of ex-Rare developers.
Yes. Rare was acquired by Microsoft.
Rare was previously second party for Nintendo, so it was private, and not Nintendo owned a stake in them.
Correct.
But Nintendo published their games exclusively for Nintendo,
Yeah.
right? Before N64, they did Donkey Kong Country. That's what I knew Rare from growing up.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
They did Donkey Kong Country. Wow, that was one of the first things that they did, and they were really getting a lot of acclaim for that because
That in, like, 92.
Yeah, 92. That was like when platformers went from being pixelated to I forget even what the technique was called that they used that for.
Oh,
but
it's gonna kill me. Yeah.
It essentially looked like it looked like 3D before 3D was actually available.
Yep.
For that, so they were first into that, and they did a really good job. A lot of people say like Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. I think there was 3.
Yep.
Were maybe 3 of the best games that were ever available for the Super Nintendo.
Oh,
Hands down, like those have been some of the best adventure games that there were for that platform. Well, they got really successful. They were able to get a real good foot in with Nintendo, like you were saying, on the N64.
Yep.
Really made headway. And then they kind of hit some bumps.
Microsoft bought them.
Yeah, Microsoft really caused a lot of like breaks to be put on in terms of what they were producing.
Yeah, they did some interesting stuff where they did like, what is it? They did Perfect Dark Zero.
Yep.
I want to say they did Grab by the Ghoulies.
Yep.
They
did Blast Corps.
Viva
back in the day.
Yeah, Viva Pinata, although it might have been a little different, was actually a cool game.
Oh, Viva Pinata was really fun. Both, they did Viva Pinata 1 and 2.
Yeah.
There was that Viva Pinata party race, which was done by a third-party different company.
We don't talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really that great. It definitely wasn't the same idea, but, Microsoft was trying to use whatever they could out of the license.
Right.
That they had. But
so a lot of these guys then turned around and formed Platonic,
Yes.
and this was kind of birthed out of that, right?
yeah, and this is as traditional as you could be to original Banjo-Kazooie.
Even the name has got the colorized hyphen
Right.
in it, right?
And it's got like a musical instrument,
Yep.
kind of in it. So banjo and kazooie, ukulele, same.
Yuka and Laylee.
Right. It's a musical instrument. So they kind of went down that road. The characters talk and sound, and I think they got the same damn people
they
to
did.
do the voices or whatever program they used to do the voices.
The dialogue boxes look the same. Everything. I
Yep.
mean, even the little non-human elements. Everything's got a little pair of eyes. The feathers have a little pair of eyes.
Yep.
Right.
And everything's got like a double entendre.
Right. Yep.
Right. This is a snake
It's Trouser Snake, I think.
in a pair of pants, and his name's called Trouser. So he's a trouser snake. So they've got all the funny components in there, and the platforming puzzles are the same. The areas what I remember. I forgot they also did Conquer.
Yeah, they did.
Wow, Conquer 64 and Conquer for the remaster.
They did Bad Fur Day, and then
Bad
they did what was it, Locked and Reloaded?
Locked and Reloaded, yeah, or whatever it was. So, and Conquer really pushed the edge of like adult humor in a video game.
For a Nintendo exclusive,
for back in the day, yeah, they were really. But from what this game right here reminds me. The areas are smaller.
Okay.
They're still there and they're still challenging, but it's definitely, it seems like they're a little bit smaller. I don't know if it's just me, older, playing this type of game, but this is an homage to like late 90s, early 2000 platforms.
If
They took it and you wouldn't.
If you went to bed and you were like, I really wish someone would make Banjo-Kazooie 3.
Yep.
That is this game functionally.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's a great job, and they did a good job getting it across everything. It's not just on PC. It's on.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was a Kickstarter too.
It was.
I believe it was.
Yeah.
It was Kickstarter. They got it onto PS4. They
Yep.
got it onto Xbox One. They got it onto the Switch. You know, obviously, it being on the Switch is a big deal because, you know, this is where they really got their feet wet, and now they're back on the Nintendo system, but they can do whatever they want. So, you know, it kind of became like their own little thing that they were, you know, really kind of aiming towards. So we have both the standard edition of Yooka-Laylee and the digital edition, digital collector's edition. So we're going to drop both of those. And they're both Steam keys, so you can buy the game and then go buy it at a pretty good discount. I think it's 30, if you remember, it's like 33 bucks.
Yeah.
Right? So like $10, well, $8 off, something to that effect, $7. And then we've got the digital deluxe version. I'm going to drop that in there as well, so you can take a look at either of those.
Yeah, nothing like watching your childhood in front of
I
your
know,
eyes,
isn't
right?
it? Man, it looks really. God, it reminds me of that. Looks good though. I really enjoyed playing it, and I could definitely see playing it some more. I had the game even before we got it on the service.
If I wasn't in the middle of like 7 games right now or whatever, we're adding another one at 9 tonight.
I know. Yeah, and I look at that as well. I mean, if I had more time to play, I would definitely be on this. So let's kind of call it a day for Banjo-Kazooie. Great game though. Definitely, you will enjoy it. It's cute. It's funny. It's got little jokes in it all through it. So
I'm very comfortable in saying I have probably finished every single game Rare has ever made. I bet you I'm not too far from it.
wow, I would say
I had Jet Force Gemini.
yeah, I played Jet Force Gemini too on the 64. I don't think I ever finished Blast Corps.
I did. I got to the outside planets.
I did all of the Viva Pinatas. Really enjoyed those.
I'm a lock on SNES. I'm a lock on N64.
Yeah, I would say like Microsoft Xbox.
Did they do Cameo as well?
Yes.
I see. I that was a miss for me.
The one thing, if you can find it, I think is the best game, one of the only games on Xbox. Not that I'm against it, just I don't play a lot of Xbox anymore. The one game on Xbox One that I really think everybody should own is the Rare Replay.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I have that, and it's fantastic.
It shows some of the stuff that maybe didn't quite make it to print. It kind of shows how some of these ideas percolated into games.
It's got every game that they made basically all the way. The only one it doesn't have is Donkey Kong.
Because they don't own that license.
Yeah, they don't have like the country or the 64 version.
Yep.
But everything else is on there, and it's all in HD.
Yep.
I don't know if they remastered it, but it's obviously in 720p. I think it still maintains the same aspect ratio, though. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right.
If it doesn't. But you should still be able to find even the Donkey Kong Country stuff on the Nintendo Switch. Or if you have a Wii U or something like that. I know that I had both Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 and Donkey Kong 64 in the Nintendo eShop.
I had them in the Wii shop.
Yeah.
I don't know if I owned them again after that.
I bought them I don't know how many times.
And I gotta think
they were really good.
And I gotta think at some point the Switch's NES store will turn into a SNES store here in the next probably year or two.
Yep.
Right?
And we have one of, funny enough, we have some of these sitting around the office. Where did those go? The Super Nintendo.
Oh, I locked it in one of the drawers.
Oh, somebody may have taken it home even, but we had one of the Super Nintendo. I believe that Donkey Kong Country is on that too.
How will you make a SNES Mini and not put it on there?
Right. Yeah. I think it's on there too. So you can find them everywhere, but definitely, if you can't, you can at least play the next game that kind of is theirs in a way. It's not a rare game, but it's close.
It is. I believe the term everybody likes to use when a developer works on something and makes a very close game. What do they refer to it as? Spiritual sequel. Spiritual sequel. And I think that's the most fair way.
I think you're right. Yeah, I mean that's as close as you can get.
Right.
But let's continue on.
We're going to play something quite a bit different than ukulele.
We're going to play Woodpunk back there. Woodpunk is, it's kind of hard to say. It falls in that category of an action twin stick shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. It's one of those things, and it's competitive games out there. Nuclear Throne would be one of them. By Vlambeer.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit. I don't know. I mean, they're still an indie developer. They're still super. We do everything. We control everything. They make their stuff. They publish their stuff. Self-publish it. But they're a PC developer, mobile developer. They've done some stuff even on with partnerships through Devolver Digital on console. They did a game called Nuclear Throne. There's also Neurovoider, which is another game that's very similar. We have that from Plug-in Digital.
Okay.
They didn't develop it, but they actually published it with us. It's kind of in the same realm as like Tower 57.
Okay.
Enter the Gungeon.
Right.
Is another game that's very similar. So these are they're kind of twin stick shooters that are roguelike.
Yep.
They're relentless.
Mm-hmm.
And they're done very well. And they're done in 16-bit graphics. So let's 16-bit pixelated graphics is what it is. But
we're playing co-op tonight.
We're going to do a little co-op. The co-op's a little bit different in this. So let's see. I'm going to drop us onto here. So there's the game.
And it's for everyone wondering, it's not steampunk and it's not cyberpunk. It is woodpunk. Right. So kind of in this
things are made out of
in this world that's so cyberpunk you typically think of megatropolises and steampunk you've kind of got everything was powered with pressurized water or pressurized steam.
Exactly.
Right. This one is everything is made with the cutting edge of wood. Yeah. And it's kind of the world's energy source.
That's exactly how it is. So let's jump in. So the way this works, there is no 2-player option right away.
Okay. What
you have to do is we'll just go into number 2. I had played a little bit of the game a long time ago. So there's me. I'm kind of this guy right here. I'm the Woodpunk. And then there's the trash can. Guess who gets to be the trash can?
Probably the person that was holding the flashlight when we
played
Resident Evil.
Yeah. Same idea. So now you're the trash can, and I'm going to switch you over to... yeah, I had a little bit of time connecting these things today, too. It wants you to play... It wants us to play like mouse and keyboard, but we don't want that because you didn't have your... Let's do this one more time. So E... Okay, there's that. Yeah, it doesn't notice your controller yet. Try taking the batteries out. For some reason this controller does that. And then just drop them in again. The way it works is if you have 2 controllers, when you go to flip over to 2-player, it'll go okay, I see that you want to play with 2 players on controllers.
I can't get the controller turned on.
Is it going to mess with us? Well, I mean, if you want, you can play on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to do that tonight.
It was working right when I came in here, so for whatever reason.
Wow.
Who knows? It's probably our controller, so I'm going to get enough room there. I can move over. I've never played this on...
Sorry, Give me just a second to
There you
adjust
go.
here.
I've never played this on mouse and keyboard, so I have no idea how this runs.
Okay.
So you're on there. So this is our tech tree. We're not going to do any unlocks, so let's just go into story mode. And let's do, since you've never played this, right?
Nope.
Let's do the tutorial first, real quick. I don't think that takes us back before where we're at in the game. I think it starts us from the next point, but we'll see. Nope, it took us exactly back to there.
Okay.
Can I get us out of here? Let's restart. I don't know. Let's see if we can just quit or exit. Well, you know what? No, that's fine. That's fine. This will give everybody kind of an idea. So,
Just run through. You're fine.
yeah, it's just basically showing like what do you have as options to destroy walls that you're going to have to get through. Let's see. Shoot with that. And then you've got to wait, so you've got to reload mechanics. So now we're through the wall. Just kind of run around a little bit. Get some different weapons. We've got our sword, so you have a melee as well. I'm just going to take this wall out. And you've got your gun. And again, your right stick doing all your work. You can even, as far as I know, there's a hover. Yes, like that. You can jetpack your way around. But we can break through the wall too. I don't care. Let's go down here. I think we're... Oh, it wants me to do something. Yes, let's see. Something cool. Is your mouse even working too? Yeah. So you've got a little bit of control. Even though you're not there with me right now,
Yeah.
you can still interact. So let's see. It wants me... Press. Doesn't tell me what to press. Oh, there we go. Press A. Now we're there. So I don't know if you can take full control of him yet or not.
Not yet.
That trash can. Alright, so I gotta take some of these out. But then this will start, as Brooks mentioned, this will start talking about like, hey, the world is made out of wood, so like basically my sword is now like a wood paddle is what it looks like to me. And then the trash can is going to be like, hey, I can help you. Let's build another, you know, grab the pieces. Is it... I thought it was A. Oh, I think I might... There we go. I think I got to be around you. Smack you around. And eventually he'll like make a sword. Yep. Make a sword, grab a sword. Now we got our sword back. So you've got different things like where you've got to upgrade equipment, you've got to find the right, you know, items, resources. There we go. He's showing up. And then the second player will be collecting stuff as well. And I believe you can shoot too. They just don't run you through that in the tutorial. But we're done, essentially. And use his special turret technique. There he goes. Well, we already beat everything. There we go. So that'll be your technique. And in I believe, you know, very similar to Division, you can upgrade the abilities.
Sure.
So.
Sure, yeah.
Alright. Are we good? Okay, come on. Come on. There we go. Getting our ship, our wood ship. And blast off. So now, let's go into the story. Oh wait, are you with me? Do you have control of your guy?
No, I think you gotta go. There we go.
Okay, now you're good? Okay. Now let's go. G-Nova. It is not G-Wagon with Post Malone. G-Nova. There we go. So we're basically defending ourselves in here.
Okay.
There will be onslaughts. And obviously the games play, you know, very similar to like anything else where Tons. I have the problem where I have to reload, I think is my issue here. But I do have a sword.
Yeah, my problem is I'm playing on a team with a guy that has a reload, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
Oh, is he blocking me?
It's a little hard to keep track of where this little blue pointer's at.
Yeah, I definitely think it would be easier with
stick, yeah.
With stick, because you notice they don't have like, well, I guess how would they? Oh, I died.
Something blew me up too.
Yeah. Well, I think you might have died when I died too. Oh. So okay, so now
it was your fault.
Let's go back. That's our first death, and essentially it's basically like this is going to happen a lot. We go back in.
So let's say you clear a couple.
You're starting to try to build the tech.
So let's say you clear a couple levels and you die. What happens? Do you start flat out over again, or are we able to kind of bank our rewards and currency?
Essentially, you're trying to bank stuff. So you got to survive rounds, and then you've got to try to get everything back so you can then, upgrade the tech for the robot or for your guy or whatever it is. So I've got a different tool now. You see that? I've got more of a pipe.
Okay.
Essentially, we're just trying to get through 3 rounds, and then we move on to the next challenge. Stabby. Boom. That might have been the 3. Or the 1 round. Yeah. So it's a little bit different, when I was saying it's in comparison to like Enter the Gungeon and that. Enter the Gungeon is basically you're going through levels. This is rounds of fighting in kind of a similar area,
right?
Staying in the same area. So there's a little difference. Nuclear Throne is kind of you're going through levels too. I believe those are randomly generated, if I'm not mistaken. I tend to find that you don't want to use really the gun until you've got it upgraded. It is not the greatest. This spike is, the spike with a sword tends to be better in the beginning.
The little trash can gun's not too bad.
No, excuse me. Okay, cool. Now we
got a boss now?
Nope. We can jettison ourselves out of here. It's up to you. We're on to the next one. Go away. I don't like that so much. It's like an arrow shooter now. I'm gonna go back to my tank. Oh, it broke. Okay, trash can. Do you have enough to fix this? I think you have to. Paddle. Yep. Essentially, what I needed was for you to fix my weapon in that sense. But let's see if we can go to the tech tree right here. So we have 231. I don't think we have anything that we can grab right now, but you can get obviously the bombs, fire cannons.
You buy new weapons and upgrades, right?
I believe there's also experimental stuff. I mean, it gets pretty deep as you go through, but then you got to find resources like that or stuff like that.
You gonna buy something?
No, I was just looking around to show kind of everything, so you can tank. So you can be putting out, probably higher DPS, but be able to handle higher DPS.
Sure, it looks like you've got some defensive in here. It looks like you've got some passive abilities. Looks like you've got some traits.
Yep. So that's kind of the game as you go through. Let's jump into another round.
Let's do a different world.
Yeah, let's get a little bit of
There you go.
Let's do that. Kind of show, I like how it just shoots it out and lands wherever it is. It's wood technology, right?
We were at the LeMay Auto Museum last weekend.
Oh, down in Tacoma?
Yeah, and there's they have some cars down there. We're walking and we start on the top floor where they've got like the Heroes of Bavaria and the tuner cars, and then you get down to like the cars from the other.
They just restart
from the other eras, and you see the cars from like 1905, and you're like, wood wheels.
Oh yeah,
like a wood shifter,
sure.
like a wood steering wheel.
Everything. It was Woodpunk galore. Oh jeez.
We learned about Sunday driving. I've never heard of it.
Sunday where you just go take a drive?
Yeah. Yeah, we found out about the origination of the word Sunday driving.
After church, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're coming after me. I think there's health. If we can find a green flag. And sorry, I'm dragging you with me if you don't come with me.
Hey, I'm killing the boss, so it's whatever.
This is kind of the traditional way that like co-op games used to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like your buddy would just be like getting drug out and killed wherever.
See, I think I figured out that I don't think I can die, so I can just go autonomous while you're running around.
Yeah, see, there's no health replenishment.
I'm killing them. Oh,
never mind. Let's try it again now that we know that. Okay. You remember playing Contra?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one was rough for it. Like, if you weren't in line and following each other, one of you was going to die on the vertical ascents, or you were just getting lost in like a screen transfer. They were just on me, man. They're rough. Everything's shooting at me. The buildings seem to at least give me some shelter from from the bullets barrage that I'm getting here. Oh. It'd be nice if my trash can would help me here. I'm gonna try that. Well, they're not shooting at me, so we're gonna probably hang back here. Take these guys out. Ooh. See, I can get him in big swings. You've only got what? Oh Jesus!
Crappy. I got this crappy gun, but as far as I can tell,
the gun works well. Yeah.
As far as I can tell, it doesn't do very much damage. But I also don't think
get away from those guys.
I don't think the enemies can hit me. I think they can only hurt you.
Yeah. Well, I'm running away from them.
Well, I'll be just over here.
You crank on them for a bit because they shoot those barrages of bullets, and I can't get away from it. I mean, I can, but it's just like there has to be something in the middle between me and the bullet.
That'll be me.
Because they're just not. They got me. They stabbed me all over. Stab, stab, stab. Okay, let's jump out of here. Let's check out another world. And it's kind of the the option that you can just bounce around, play a little bit of each. Try some snow.
Just swing the wood up, no problem.
Yeah, just throw right out. There goes the ship. Yeah, I wondered how this would play in. Just kind of get a chance to watch you do it. The melee is the only thing that my guys working on. It's definitely like swinging a big stick. But you get a little too close to some of the enemies.
Because if you can just get within range of everything, I can just cross everything. Oh, no.
Can you pick this up over here? Whoa, whoa, whoa. This thing that I ran over. I'm not sure if you can pick that up. No, you can't. Guns. I think we might have to go back to World 1.
Okay.
At least until we get to, well, I don't know if it shows how much tech stuff we've got. I've got to be able to shoot faster. Mine just cannot shoot. It's too slow. close enough to them. And then I can wing it. Okay. Punk. Alright. Yeah, the pike is definitely, or the spear is a better reach. Rapid fire.
I could go for the gun I have to just click and hold to shoot. I don't need
the whole
one bullet,
clicky.
one bullet per click. I mean, I'm sure the people watching us are going bonkers over that.
I know, yeah. Well, at least they don't have to listen to your keyboard all day.
Did you know?
Okay, got through. Oh, cool. Got out of that. I thought we had one more round.
I think that was only 2. Oh, I got them.
Yeah.
Again, so.
Make another trash can. Oh, but see, they don't refill your life. No matter where you go. I'm going to switch back. Oh, my spear broke again. I'll get the paddle. Down here. Alright, let's see where, let's exit out of here and see if we can start doing any kind of tech upgrade. Because that would be nice. I do like how they have it to where you don't have to go back up to that table, you can just hit the Y button, which makes it so much better. Okay, we got 792. What is this? So these are already acquired. The bombs... Ice cannon. I think we have to buy bombs first.
Okay.
I don't think we can jump, if I remember correctly, right to like...
you have to buy the steps up before you can buy the item. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like the Warhammer, we can't buy that yet. We've got to buy at least the bombs.
Cool. Go for it.
So let's do that. Bomb good.
And I'm thinking you go for ice.
Ice, the ice cannon or the fire cannon?
I'm thinking slow down enemies, ice. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we at least got something there. We're going to try World 1 again. So let's bounce here, go to G-Nova. We'll jump off screen. Actually, I will throw, before we start the next round, I will throw the links up. Because we do have this on Steam. So you buy it there, and you definitely... You definitely don't get to try it first, but obviously you kind of see us playing it over here, so you get the gist of how the game goes. Oh, there's actually a health pack. Of course, they give you those when you...
Right.
When you don't need it, it disappears. And then I needed it. Something technique. Pretty hard.
You need the health pack?
It disappeared.
Oh,
It only stays on screen for a bit. I'm going with the sword. See, you think you can get something. No, they don't do that.
There's a box of something right there.
Yeah, can you grab that? Must be kind of deflecting arrows and stuff. Okay, I got it now. Nice. I did get a health pack somewhere in there. You're making sure you're getting on board. It left you. It's like that. Now you can get another one of those. Oh, there was a health pack. Okay. Swing it. Get here. I'll tell you, controllers do feel a little bit better in this game.
Yeah, you know, I don't mind this. It's not even the mouse control that bugs me. It's the having to click every single time.
Right, instead of having
that's actually sort of what is taxing me a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's do it. These guys. Nice. Ooh. Those little guys with the arrows, they shoot hard. Or they hit hard when they shoot them.
So when you play this single player, what does the trash can do? You don't have someone controlling it. Is it automated and the computer takes it, or is it just another set of buttons you use on the control?
No, it's. I believe it's automated.
Okay.
And you can actually walk up to him to get him to fix stuff and things like that. But yeah, I believe it's mainly automated. He's trying to give you cover. There we go. Nice. Ooh. I think you want to stand by it. What was that one thing? What was the game we used to play and you would stand under the thing that would drop down and kill you? John Mercer. And all of us would do that. Was it Destiny? No.
No. Were you jumping on people?
No, it was like at the end of the level something would drop down on top of us. What game was that we would play? Catch it. We don't want to say it. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it.
Oh, it was the war sets. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
the
wasn't
war
Destiny.
set. Yeah.
Yeah. A little drop.
I couldn't remember what it was, if it was that game or not, but yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
There was no harm. Wow, we just wiped them out.
I have figured out that there's a way to boost back to you, which kind of helps this whole...
Oh, I see you moving a little faster. You're like on tank truck.
Oh, it moves significantly faster. If I get out of range from you, like intentionally go out of range on this,
right,
or whatever, this thing just zoomed right back.
Oh, boy. These guys are all going to shoot. Get clear house. I'm just swinging. I'm swinging like I'm Ichiro in my last game. Okay, well, see, now I've got the paddle thing now. Can you fix this?
Yeah, let's leave one enemy on the screen
Yeah.
and run away here.
Okay.
How would I begin to fix it if I wanted to fix it?
That's a good question. I thought you could. Like, I'd do this.
So if I hold this next to you, you get right on me. This doesn't do anything? That doesn't fix? Okay.
No, I forget how this does. Oh.
What was that?
Oh, wait, you made something. You made me a gun. Can you choose current? New. Oh, it's just me choosing that. Sorry. It was like saying, do you want this gun? Yeah, somehow you were able to make a weapon. How do I switch? Can you do that again? Or did we use like the resources we had? I think that's what we did. I think we used the resource. When you made that gun, it used whatever resource. Doesn't matter. But I mean, like, I think that's how it's set up. You have the right key combination. I'm just going to use the gun.
Where's the health back on this here?
Going for it. Oh, there's another one. Good. Now we're full.
Temporarily fall.
Right.
Yeah, let me get this thing out of the way.
Kill these guys. Oh, you were able to defeat that. Okay. I tried shooting the hell out of that last one. It didn't go there.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, you guys don't want to push it.
I get you. Whoop. Over here. Almost out of bullets is not what I'm seeing. These guys, they take extra hits with the paddle. Oh, I can do a little speed jump. Oh, I forgot there is that hover move too. Oh no.
See,
I ran out, so this is my infinite weapon.
See, if you run away, I can always get back to you, and we can kind of just kite these cats around.
Right. Just keep them.
Just stay.
Keep them at bay a little bit. Oh. Man, that was actually pretty good. Let's see what we're at.
It was a decent run.
We got through, what, 3 rounds? 4 rounds on this? Let's see. Oh, we're back to 700. Okay, did we get... So the Warhammer, massive hammer that deals with amount of damage. Max health upgrade. Okay, well that's pretty good. But we have to at least get to the hammer, or...
What's the box?
Yeah, what is this? Auto shot grip. Is that for your guy?
Buy it?
No, it's for the guns. Large chamber. Chain blade. It sounds so promising. Is there any that like upgrade your character? The turret. This must be your tree. Like to help.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we gotta, let's do that. Let's try to work our way into that, I guess. So we gotta
just hit that 750 that's right there. Or
I think we gotta at least, because we haven't, I guess we could unlock that one.
we're good.
Okay, yeah, let's...
Humor me, before we go back into the main game, go into the control menu. I want to see something before we start playing.
Go back up here.
Or no. I mean, can we go back to the front end actually? Go to the options. There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
Go to the controls. I want to see what it says for me. Okay. Up, down, left, right. Robot skill is Q. Okay, we'll see what Q does this time.
Actions E, so that means picking something up.
Q and E. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Let's give it another go.
Okay. Yeah, let's go back in. Continue and... where didn't we go? I mean, obviously we're still on World 1. Let's go check out this. We haven't been there yet. Just shoot us right out. Okay. Oh, this is much better. Okay. The gun that actually fires faster.
Well, Q and E do absolutely nothing for me.
I think that was like what it was, as if I'm playing with controller or with mouse or mouse and keyboard.
Okay.
I think that's. Oh, yeah, that took me off pretty fast.
A little roughed up there.
That was pretty quick. Okay, let's try one more time on that level. I'm gonna use my pike. Yeah, I see your tank tracks or whatever when we're rushing across there. That's pretty cool. So stay within like spike distance. And the interesting news is this will be the last game we'll play for a while that's pixelated graphics. We did a full month of, what were all the games? We did Woodpunk. We did
Tower 57.
Tower 57.
We did, let me see, we did a couple from Pico in stream, so we did Dragon View.
Yeah. I'm thinking the ones though that we played.
What else did we play?
What else did we play? I've got the list here. I know. Shock Troopers.
That's right.
You're right. That was a Pico game. Yeah, I think we kind of got to call this level here, because this is just a little bit tougher than I was prepared for. I think right now. Oh, that's funny. I can hit those big bullets that they fire out, and then it spreads it out. Like I can rebound it back to them. I was hitting it. What was the other game? So Staranding. That was the 4 that we
That's what it
played throughout the... Let's jump out of here and go back to World 1. That was the 4 that we played that were pixelated graphics, so we were doing that for a month. We're going to be playing some other stuff next stream that is not pixelated. So let's do story mode. Let's do one more run.
Okay.
See how we did okay, and we did what, 3 rounds.
I got a new strategy on this one I'm going to be employing.
We're gonna do one last run here and see how that goes. And then I'll throw in the link to be able to pick up the game.
So I can stick on you the whole time like this.
Oh, by just what, with the tank?
You can, if I just hold my right mouse.
Oh, that's funny.
I can just. I didn't realize you could. I thought you had to either be sprinting or shooting.
I guess it makes sense though that you can go and take down those like turrets or whatever. But like at other points we're just like working together really close, so that makes sense. So you're just holding what now? The right mouse button?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And then wherever I go, I drag you.
Rather than me fighting with you and trying to go in my own direction, I'm just hanging with you on the side, being your auto turret this time.
No, this helps. This is like Division 2. See, we can reflect some of those bombs that they shoot off.
This would work even better if I had a stick, because right now this mouse I have to constantly be like
readjusting,
precision aiming. The stick you can kind of just hold in the general direction.
I see what you're saying there. Okay, let's hop into this. See if I can grab our link. Touch here. Yeah, it definitely does work better if you can stay beside where I'm at. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it was like trying to chase a wild hamster around. Oh, am I out of bullets? No, it's just reloading.
And grab now. Oh,
yeah, it reloads. I forgot about that. It's got a quick time reload, so remember how Gears of War...
The active reload.
The active reload, that's what it was. So I can do that, and it kind of reloads a little bit faster if you hit it in the right spot. Kind of weak though. Oh, we're trying to
This is our homie. Got it. Okay, I'm sitting there trying to shoot it.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a difference between this game and like Enter the Gungeon or World War and this one's a little bit different. But still, it's got a good challenge. I mean, especially if you've got co-op partners with you and can do couch co-op, it's pretty good. First off. I guess it's kind of like Horde mode.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's kind of like a weight game.
Yeah. Let me do it like that. Did we make it? Yep, we made it. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're going to get hit by that damn thing. It's going to land right on top of our head. Okay, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for Woodpunk. Get 2 links in. Good. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the sword, which is almost broken. But
so if you just run away a little bit, just keep him at range just a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
I'm just like backing up slowly.
Feed.
And you don't get damaged at all.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
You just go up that tree, or just a tiny bit.
We just funneled them right through. Okay, where's this thing? Oh, I think you can make another sword with that. I don't know how.
There you go.
Oh.
Or is that me?
That's a gun that I can choose to swap. I'm going to swap just to try it out. Oh, it's like one big shot or something like that. So you're making like different types of weapons for me.
Yeah.
So these guys scatter. Not as convenient. I'm just chasing them. Just clear cut some wood. There we go.
Yep.
Things are precious. For me. Alright, let's see. What did I do? Oh! Get away from that turret. As much as you can.
You know, back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to blow everything up to see if there's like hidden health packs in any of these.
Yeah, it seems like they're dropping the health packs. Get by those arrows and come out. Stay away. Stay away. Can't get back up here. Switch to the gun. This gun, yeah. It's got varying degrees of like success.
Just keep kind of to the right.
I'm down to like 5% health, so. Oh, our timer ran out. That's what it was. I watched the
Because we had to kill the artifacts.
Yeah, we had to kill them. Alright, cool.
Cool.
Can I get out? Oh, there we go. I'll exit out. That was fun.
Yep.
Woodpunk, we've played a lot of these different ones. I think out of all of them, I like Tower 57 the best.
Which did I like the most?
I think that was the one that I thought. Well, you know what?
I probably like Stared in the most.
Stared in the best, yeah. In terms of like a twin stick,
yeah,
I like Tower 57 the best. But in terms of a side-scrolling shooter,
yeah,
Stared in was awesome. Yeah, it was a really good game. That Shock Troopers, it definitely didn't age as well.
Yeah, but
with the mechanic that it had, like you had to point in whatever way you were moving was the way you were shooting, and then it was locked that way.
It was built in a time when there weren't. Not only was there not one stick, there was no sticks. It was one D-pad, right?
Right, or in the arcade, it was like the stick and maybe 2 or 3 buttons at the most.
Right. Yeah. So when we were playing it, I was like, "Gosh, this is really strange." And then later that night, I thought about it, and I was like, "You know what?
It's the way it's designed."
I get it because that was all they had.
Yeah.
So
totally different. Today we've got a little bit more options, and like you saw with Woodpunk, nice twin stick experience. You got 2-player co-op, so you can sit there and couch game and enjoy it. And the link's in chat, so if you want to check out the game, just jump on there, and it'll take you right to the page, and you can check it out. And it is a Steam game, so you'd actually have to go over to Steam to unlock it, but you do get a discount on the WildTangent side. We've got some other stuff going on. We will probably be playing Sekiro tomorrow around lunchtime.
Are we doing? We might just be streaming that. I don't even know if we're going to be on camera for that.
We might be just streaming the game.
Play for an hour or two?
Yeah, play for an hour or two. We're going to see. We'll put out. If you don't see it on there, you may see it on one of our channels just to test it out, right? To see how it plays.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily for anything. WildTangent's not carrying the game. We're just going to be playing the game. So you might be able to catch Brooks and I doing that. We'll send out links for that. We will be back next week on Thursday, as always. We're going to have a whole new list of games. We're going to be doing potentially giveaways during that one. We've already tested them on our Facebook side. They've worked well, so definitely be here for that. Check that out.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about on another show is that follow all the channels, because we're not doing the giveaways aren't just on YouTube, and it's not just on Twitch when we do a live show. We might do them on Twitter, so there's going to be various ways we drop some different...
Yeah, you see us running the Twitter, the Twitch, the Facebook and the YouTube.
Yep.
That's where Brooks and I come in. So we're dropping stuff on there. We're putting stuff up, following some different developers, kind of promoting what they're doing. So follow all those. You'll be able to keep up with what we're doing. And definitely check back next week. And if you do want to check it out, on Wednesdays we do a show called Games Gone Wild, and that's from noon to 1 on Wednesdays. So Pacific.
Noon Pacific.
So 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, next week we'll be back here doing the same thing. You can always reach out to us. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of the games. We're almost at 4,000 subs on YouTube, which is impressive.
Just around the corner, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're 23 away, 24 away, I think. Actually, no, we're 20, as of when we got on here, I think 22 away.
Cool.
So, 22 away from 4,000 subs. So we appreciate all the support. And for everybody that keeps checking out the videos, we put them up 4 times a day, as well as do this show every week. We do have Twitch. We're just starting out on Twitch. We've had YouTube and Facebook going a lot longer. I mean, in comparison, there's like 180, 90,000 followers on Facebook.
Almost a couple 100,000.
Yeah, you've got, over here, we're getting close to 4,000. I think we're at a massive 6, if nobody unfollowed on Twitch.
Up from 5.
So you'll see us on there a little bit, but definitely love YouTube.
Yep.
Love Facebook. So you'll see us on here doing our weekly shows. We're almost coming to our 10th episode on each one, which is a long-standing thing. So that means that we'll be at least on for another 2 months. That's how that goes. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Sekiro, Division 2, whatever you're going to be playing this weekend. And there's some big sales out there, I'm sure, because it's the end of GDC.
Yeah. Which
always means, like, there's some sale for the weekend or during the week, so check all those out. And I'll talk to you next week or tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, thank you again. We'll see you next week.
Take it easy.
Later.